If you're a real estate agent, here's why you should ignore lead generation on social media and try doing this instead. Hi, guys. My name's Cole. If you don't know me, I own and operate Jarvis Media Consolidated, a marketing agency that helps digital marketing for real estate agents. In 2023, we acquired over 298,000 followers for real estate agents, 5.58 million people reached for the clients that we work with, and also helped them save over $275,000 by working with us instead of working with an inside hire for their social media and digital marketing. Those are the reasons why you should listen. And what we're going to be talking about today are why you should ignore lead generation for social media. I'm not saying social media is not very effective at getting lead gen. I think it's actually the best way to do some lead generation. But here's why you should ignore that strategy and consider this other strategy. I want to go ahead and share my iPad over here. So when we talk about social media, what we're talking about is a marketing tool. All these platforms are just marketing tools, just like newspaper or radio or TV, whatever. And they just have different attributes that set them apart. Just like how radio is different from newspaper and TV is different from that. Social media is just another one of these marketing channels. Now, why I have built my whole business around it and why I favor it so much is because I think social media is by far the best way to market for small businesses, especially for real estate agents, because of the data that it provides. You can do immediate testing, you can reiterate, and constantly get 1% better every single week to the point where you start getting amazing outsized returns on autopilot. It's a lot harder to do that with other traditional marketing aspects where you're kind of guessing at the data. I mean, I used to work in radio, and let me tell you, the data there is, they use what's called the Nielsen reporting, and it is really inaccurate. I won't dive into that. But long story short, social media is just another marketing tool. And so a lot of real estate agents understand this and they say, okay, cool, like social media is great. I've heard these people have this amazing success with it. So naturally they think, well, I want to use social media to get more leads, right? That's what benefits my business. I can't tell you how many realtors I've spoken with who I say, oh, are you interested in lead gen? And they say, well, why else would I care about social media? And that's, in my opinion, a misstep, because social media has this amazing power of brand building and trust building, which is pivotal for real estate agents, that a lot of folks ignore. So I want to talk about what that is and why for a lot of folks it might make sense to not even focus on lead gen in the social media world, but instead focus on social media content to build trust, to showcase your brand as a valuable real estate brand that can help buyers or sellers in your market, and how that can generate more business for you than if you just focus on lead gen. So first things first, let's talk about lead gen here. So now it's a whole nother video that I'll make, but we talk about lead gen. A lot of people do a couple different things, right? So either they'll just make content and the content will just, first of all, if you make good content, you can do a lot of lead gen, but a lot of people will make organic content and it will just be like, use me, or like top realtor. That's my favorite one because it seems like every realtor in every market is the top realtor. So somebody's lying. And that's just, first of all, it's bad content. And therefore it's really not going to help you do lead gen. Now a lot of people also will do ads. Now I think ads on social media are amazing, for accomplishing a lot of different goals. And I have other videos talking about that, but lead gen, with ads, people might drive a lot of traffic, or they might do a lot of reach, which just means getting in front of more and more people. I mean, if your goal is lead gen, these are not what I would do. Because let's say somebody goes to your website and your website's not perfectly set up as a landing page where the only option is for them to become a lead, then that's very difficult. And even if you have a landing page is perfectly set up, designed to only capture a lead and nothing else, no other fluff that people can click on, get distracted, and then click away, which is what happens with like 80% of websites I see, is even if it's perfectly set up, Facebook or Meta or YouTube, whatever, cannot communicate properly with the website to understand when a lead is actually happening. So it can't optimize. These ads are really strong and really effective at getting a result because they're able to optimize using massive amounts of data. But But when you send people to an external site, they're not able to do that unless you have a pixel set up. And even when you have a pixel set up, there's all these iOS updates and all these different things that make it very hard for the pixel to help communicate between the ad and the website. So even if you're sending traffic ads that are to a website that's perfectly set up, which I almost guarantee your website's not perfectly set up for that, unless you decided to build a landing page just for capturing lead gen. Even then, it's not that optimal. I really highly prefer lead form ads, and if I can type, it's early for me. Lead form ads, because then you keep people on the platform, and the ads are designed to get leads. And then what a lot of people do, if you get to this step, which a lot of realtors already don't even get to this far, but if you get to this step, then a lot of people, you might run into this. This happens all the time. You get a ton of leads. Like, you spend a couple $100, maybe you'll get 10, 20 leads, people in your market clicking on your ad, giving you their information, their real phone number, their real email, all that stuff like that. You might get 10 to 20 leads. And then you contact them, and then either there's the issue of you're not fast enough. And this happens to me. I do this actually with my own business all the time. You're not fast enough. Because, if you don't reach out to somebody within 5 minutes of them building out a lead form ad, you would think, oh, they're going to remember me, but they really don't, because we see so much content per day. It's insane. So if you're not fast enough to work on that lead, to reach out to them and to kind of build a rapport with them, then you're really going to have diminishing returns. And then on top of that too, with leads right here, 10 to 20 leads, if you're not being fast enough, and you might also not have them as engaged. They might not be as engaged of leads as you would like. So you might end up getting a lot of leads, but not a lot of really good potential clients out of it, because you haven't added enough friction. And friction is just more steps into the lead, or into the ad for somebody to become a lead, so that therefore you kind of filter out all the people who are just interested, but they're not really interested in buying or selling now. Now, that's leads in a nutshell. And this is an effective strategy, don't get me wrong. But the reason why a lot of realtors should not focus on this and should instead focus on content creation and brand awareness is because of one thing and one thing alone, and that's trust. Guys, if you don't have a brand, and I tell my clients this all the time and folks that I talk to about this all the time, but if you don't have a brand that's trusted, I don't understand how in the world you would think that somebody would want to work with you for what is likely their biggest financial decision of their life. We all know that buying a home is usually, for most people, the biggest financial decision they make in their life. And they're only going to buy a home maybe 3 times in their lifetime. And you don't understand that they need to trust you. Or maybe you think that they need to trust you, but the idea of what trust means is completely outside of, what it really is. So trust is not a bunch of Google reviews. Trust is not a great track record. Trust is not, having a lot of success. These things can help build trust, but at the end of the day, trust is just the belief that you are going to be able to help somebody get where they need to go. So trust is just belief in you and your abilities to help them with their goals. So these things can help. But at the end of the day, this is why when you get referrals, that's why, and this is such an interesting statistic, I always name it, is that 80% of all the deals done in real estate in the United States is from either repeat business, so repeat clients that you've already helped in the past, or referrals, as in you've helped somebody, they said, oh, hey, my cousin's looking for a house, you should work with them. Hey, cousin, check out John Realtor because he is amazing. 80% of all business is done through referral marketing. And it's so funny because when I talk to people about that, they say, oh, why should I invest a lot of time and effort into social media marketing or any kind of marketing when really referrals is where I get all my business? Well, the reason that referrals is 80% of business is because the other marketing that everyone's doing is just not effective. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. That means that people are just not spending time and effort to develop those funnels besides the top people in the market. And a great way to develop a funnel to get marketing and not have to just rely on referrals. Get referrals all day long. That's amazing. But wouldn't it be amazing if you didn't have to? Wouldn't it be amazing if you didn't need somebody to give you referrals for you to hit your goals in real estate? That is what we're talking about here. And so basically, the reason why referrals are so big is because there's built in trust. If you helped somebody's sister and then they reach out to you to help them, they already saw the effect of this. They saw that you helped their sister and they say, oh, they can probably help me too. There's a built in level of trust there because you just helped somebody close to them and they saw that firsthand and they were able to talk to somebody that they trust to help impart trust onto you. So, when we're making content or we're talking about a social media strategy, what if we could just build trust with our content? Like, yeah, we can generate leads all day long, but then we're reaching out to people who, yeah, they reached out to us and they might be looking for a home, but they don't know us from the other thousands of real estate agents in the market. So at the end of the day, then it becomes a harder deal to close, even if they engaged with your ad and they said, hey, I want to learn more, I want to sell my home. This is what folks do all the time. They talk about the benefit of real estate. They talk about, hey, why it's a good time to buy now, why it's a good time to sell now, or hey, lock in that equity, whatever. But they never really talk about their brand and how they are different, or at least a lot of realtors don't. And the ones who do tend to be the bigger ones in the industry, just from what I've seen personally and the folks I've worked with. So if you focus on making content that imparts trust to your audience, that you can help them, then you will basically be your own referral machine. You're referring people because from your brand to your brand through the content you've created. So then it becomes, okay, how do we make trust building content? How do we make trust building content? And the answer is number one, volume. Why do we need volume? Because there is so much content on every single platform every single day that if you don't have a high amount of volume, you just will not get in front of a decent amount of people, even in your local market. I know it's crazy. I know it's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. A lot of people are making content because it helps benefit their goals. So that means you have a lot of competition. And the more volume you have, the more bullets you have in your chamber to try and hit your mark, basically, if that makes sense. So you need volume just to get the numbers going, just to get the numbers to stand a chance to get in front of folks. But then also, we need volume so that we can test. If we put out 100 pieces of content, we can look at the top 20% of those pieces of content and say, these generate a lot more interactions and potential leads and clients and trust than the other 80%. Let's make more content like this 20% here. So that's how you're able to test, and that makes you 1% better every single week. And if you're able to do that, then how much better that compounds? You get 1% better, and then you're 1.101% better, and you're 1.103% better, and you just keep getting better and better as time goes on. That's how you build a content machine and a trust building machine. Now, so we need a lot of volume, obviously, but then we also need value. And this is what a lot of folks get wrong all the time too, is that value is not information. Believe it or not, information is free. You can go onto Google, whatever you want, and answer any question that you have pretty much instantaneously. So you making a 10-minute video talking about information doesn't actually really help people. It actually just wastes their time when the information could be a lot quicker. So if you make content that has important information, that is not value. Value is transformation. If you can help people through content transform, at least to get closer to who they want to be, or transform and get them to their goals that they want, that is value. Because listen, anybody can get any information they want whenever they want, but they can't get to their goals as easy as a Google search, right? So you need to not only supply information that's valuable, but you need to package it in a way that's entertaining, or that at least just captures their attention better than just saying, hey, interest rates are really good right now, you should use a realtor. You need to package it in a way that makes it easier for them to achieve things. So it's not about, and Alex Hormozy has an amazing quote about this, but it's not about the amount of value, it's about the value per second that you provide. So if you're making video content, it has to have a lot of value consistently. And so that's how we have some value there. And then, of course, you can build trust by, of course, being relevant. And these are all really needed here. You need volume, you need value, and you need to be relevant. This kind of ties in to value here, because transformation is going to have to be relevant to the kind of person you're trying to get. But like, again, if you're just saying, hey, I help people buy or sell homes in, Syracuse, New York, that's great. That's, you're in a group of 100 or 1,000 other people who are also saying that for their real estate business. But if you can say, hey, I've really helped a lot of single moms get into their first home so they can get out of the rat race of renting, and they can get into a good school system for their kids and all that stuff, then you start to become more relevant to a different group. Are you targeting one group and kind of leaving, letting out other ones? Yes, you are. But I would rather you be 100% relevant to one market, to one niche, I should say, than 1% relevant to everybody. Otherwise you're just not going to stand out. So this is where you can really niche down and become the realtor for, whoever you're trying to help here. That can be whoever, and that can be as big as small as you want, but just don't try to generalize, because it makes it very difficult to stand out. And so if you do this consistently, if you have trust building content where you're helping people, you have a lot of content out there, it helps people transform, it helps them accomplish their goals. Maybe you help them get their credit together. You walk them through easier ways, or ways that you've seen in the past clients, get ready to buy their first home, or get out of, let's say, a home with, let's say, maybe even negative equity. We don't talk about it nowadays because the real estate market's been on fire, but whatever, you can walk through all these different processes through the experience that you have, use examples because that shows proof, and then that will help build trust. And the reason we do that is because at the end of the day, if you build a lot of trust and you're constantly showing up there, in 2 years, after you've made a bunch of content, you're constantly posting, you're helping people out in your market, you're providing all the value, you're showing that you know what you're talking about and that you know how to help people. After 2 years, when somebody who's been like, I've been watching Jane and her real estate social media content for 2 years, and that helped me get my down payment ready, that helped me get my credit score in order, that helped me realize what kind of home I want and the specific market that I want to live in, and it really just helped me plan all of my real estate goals. If you're able to do that, then why in the world would this person not want to work with you as a real estate agent? If they've been watching your content for 2 years and they've been engaging with all of your stuff, and you've helped them get to their goal so far, why would they not want you to be their realtor? It becomes difficult for them not to choose you because you've built up a level of trust and commitment and value for them that no other agent has. So yeah, when we talk about social media, yes, lead gen, there's a lot of things you can do, and it's a really effective way to get lead gen. I love lead gen on social media. But if you spend your time and effort instead just building trust and just making content that helps people get to their goals and helps them in their real estate journey, why would they not want to use you to help them buy a house, and in their real estate journey, or sell their house in their real estate journey? It's really simplistic, but at the end of the day, it's like, what could you tell me about, like, your life story? What could you tell me about the life story of some random person, like, in your city, right? Probably nothing. You probably don't know them from Adam. You don't know anything. But if you say, hey, tell me a little bit about what you know about Brad Pitt, right? You probably know a couple things about Brad Pitt. You have a level of understanding about Brad Pitt. And that's not because you have a relationship with him. That's because, well, I shouldn't say that. It's not because you know him on like a first person level, but it's because you have a relationship through the content he's created, through the publicity that he's gotten because he lives, in the public spotlight. So you know a lot about him. And there would be a level of trust you would have about Brad Pitt over some random person in your market, even if that random person is more like you demographically speaking. So when we talk about building a brand through social media, the whole concept here is, how do we make a lot of trust? How do we show people that we can help them and that we've helped other people like them, so that when they are ready to buy or sell, they don't go looking for top realtors in my market. They say, no, as soon as I'm ready to buy or sell, Jane's my girl. Like, Joe's my guy. I'm gonna work with them because they've already proven their worth 10 times over the past few years. It's a longer journey, but if you're planning on being a career real estate agent, it makes way more sense to start jumping on this sooner rather than later. So guys, I hope that was helpful. Look forward to making these videos every single day, and let me know if you have any questions, anything I can make a video about in the future. Would love to help you out. Oh, and also, of course, if you're interested in working with us, link down below. We can schedule an appointment, talk a little bit about your journey. Thanks guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.